Hello. In JTL 12, we'll be discussing the next type of grouping games, the two groups. The stalker love and hate relationships still apply, but there will be no at least one rule. So the setup is going to be relatively simple and look nearly identical to an in and out grouping game, simply because instead of in and out, we'll just have the names of the two groups. So in this example, 8 local parents will be assigned to 2 4-person neighborhood watch communities, the Nighthawks and the Watchbirds. We know the two groups are the Nighthawks and the Watchbirds, so just N and W. Another thing to note is that you don't need to form the contrapositive always, or at least form the unhelpful contrapositive. For example, if Cleopatra is assigned to Team 1, then Demetrius is assigned to Team 2. So if C1 leads to D2, rather than saying no D2 means no C1, there's only two groups possible, right? There's only two groups. You simply just say, okay, so D1 would mean Cleopatra's in Team 2. C1 to D2, D1 to C2. Very simple. The stalking relationship is also as prevalent than ever. If Kiowa is assigned to Team 2, then L is assigned to Team 2. So basically, if L was in Team 1, then K will be in Team 1. However, it's not to confuse these two as being in love or in a love relationship. Next will be the love relationship. So if it just simply says Z and Y are assigned to the same team, regardless of what team they're on, they're both going to be in that team. This is probably going to be the most helpful distinction in grouping games, in a two-group game, simply because it's going to take up majority of the space and save you a lot of heartache trying to figure out which one. It's so, if you see an answer in an answer stem, if you see an answer it doesn't have Z and Y in it, you know it's the incorrect answer. It's so easy to spot. Next is a hate relationship. So a little differently now, since we know there's two groups, if these two hate each other, you can simply list it as an option. So in this example, if let's say J and H hate each other, right? They can't be together. In the two groups, you'd simply just put, okay, J/H. In the second group, J/H. You know one of them has to be, if one of them is one group, the other one has to be the other, and vice versa. There's only two groups. There's no out group, so they have to be involved. So just to reiterate, you would directly insert it into your setup. The final thing I would want to address is there's actually a limited version of the hate relationship. So in the example, if G is assigned to Team 2, then F is assigned to Team 1. So you would simply form the conditional relationship. Okay, G and Team 2 means F can't be on, means F will be on Team 1, and F is on Team 2, then G is on Team 1. Rather than keeping that ugly conditional relationship, you can actually convert it into something much more simple. When you form the conditional relationship and the contrapositive, you see that the sufficient condition both are the same team. Like this team means the other one will be on a different team. So rather than saying in the hate relationship that they both can't be together, you can simply write out that they both cannot be on Team 2. There's no issue them being on Team 1. Remember, the sufficient condition guarantees the necessary condition will follow. If it's just a necessary condition, it doesn't mean the sufficient will follow, right? That's converse. So if it means F1, if F2 means G1, guess what? F1 and G1 are totally fine. They can totally sustain on their own, and their sufficient condition does not have to be plausible. And that's going to be all for two group games. Relatively simple stuff. The final two games we'll be discussing in my next video will be the more groups and the profiling games. So I'll see you then.